Hola, ¿cómo están? Bueno, aún estamos aquí con Lara Borodetsky, lingüista, entre otras cosas, que, como les mencioné, si usted se perdió el segmento anterior, tuvo un TED Talk o una conferencia TED en donde habló de lenguaje y cómo el lenguaje representa lo que nosotros somos, nuestra cultura, nuestra idiosincrasia. Y también estábamos hablando en el segmento anterior cómo siempre está evolucionando, y en esta área en especial, un área fronteriza, pues todo el tiempo está cambiando. Y bueno, ya lo podemos ver con palabras en el inglés que están en el español y palabras en español que ya están en el inglés. Y mi pregunta para Lara, antes de antes de terminar, que se acabó el tiempo, era ¿por qué en un país hay diferentes acentos? And that's the question. Y la entrevista la estamos haciendo en inglés, así que ahí están los subtítulos. So the question is, why do we have different accents in the different countries? Why is it?
Well, people grow up speaking the way that they hear other people around them speaking, and the more geographical separation there is, or the more social separation there is, if you want to identify with a group of people, you'll sound like them. But in Mexico, there's more than just diversity of accents. There's a huge diversity of languages. So you have Zapotec and Yucatec and Saltal. There are hundreds of languages, indigenous languages spoken in Mexico. So it's the same answer to why there's so many languages in the world. People separate and then they find new ways to communicate. Usually there's some feature of their environment that drives them to slowly shift languages over time. But this is just part of the normal shift of languages. They're always changing.
So maybe because I'm thinking now in a global term and everything is too close. So basically the idea is that before they were too separate and then everyone, developed their own accent and then people copy one another. That's the idea, correct?
Yeah, things can become more homogenized when you have something like a television station, for example. If everyone on television talks the same way, that can start to standardize the way people everywhere talk. But at the same time, with the internet, for example, people can still find pockets where they talk only to people that they're most interested in talking to. So you can still find a lot of separation. If you want to go and find a community that you talk to a particular way, you can go and find that.
Okay, I have a different question for you now. Why for some people that don't speak Spanish, it's difficult between feminine and masculine and between third person? For example, usted, tú, él, ella. I don't know. There's like a reason why people get confused so much.
Yeah, so for people coming from English, for example, learning a language like Spanish where you have grammatical genders, it's so hard to remember the genders. First, because there are lots and lots of nouns, right? So you have to memorize them. If you grew up speaking Spanish as your native language, it's just natural. It's just part of the word. But English speakers approach it like it's something extra that seems unnecessary to them. So we've all heard people screw up genders, and it just sounds really funny if you speak the language. There's a wonderful essay by David Sedaris where he talks about learning genders in French, and eventually he gives up and he says, I'll just refer to everything in the plural. So if I need to buy toasters, I'll get 2 toasters, because then you don't have to mark gender and you don't have to be embarrassed.
It's very interesting. You were saying about you were telling us about a story about exactly that, no? About the female and the genders in language.
Yeah, so actually if you have grammatical gender in language, people tend to take those seriously. So for example, if the sun is masculine in your language and the moon is feminine, you end up actually thinking of the sun as being more masculine or more male-like, and the moon is somehow more female-like. And you can see this in the way artists portray all kinds of abstract entities like truth and justice in their paintings and sculptures. And
we run out of time, unfortunately. But esto de hablar en femenino y masculino y la idioma, mi papá no nació en México y siempre que nos regañaba nos decía, ¿quiere que me enojo? Y le decíamos, no, quiero que te enojes. Ese es un ejemplo perfecto de cómo se confunde la gente. Bueno, en fin, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have the chance to talk to you again. Y bueno, pues, qué buen día para hablar de lenguaje, practicar nuestro inglés y practicar nuestra lectura. Que estén muy bien.